Hello, good afternoon. This is your News 4 Now update. I'm Kay Ingram. And it appears the city is indeed sending migrants to the town of Newburgh. Last night, the Orange County executive said that the state and city assured them buses of migrants from the city would not be arriving there until further notice. But we are now getting reports that buses are arriving. Meanwhile, Mayor Adams is adjusting his strategy on handling the migrants here in the city. News 4's Gabi Acevedo has that part of the story from City Hall.
Mayor Eric Adams said this morning at a press briefing that he's now using the power of his office to tackle the situation with asylum seekers arriving in New York City. Last night, the mayor signed an executive order suspending 3 right-to-shelter laws. The first rule says New York City will no longer be barred from housing families with children in congregate settings. The second guidance frees the city from assigning a bed to a person within a certain reasonable time frame. And the third rule in the mayor's executive order moves to suspend the protections for families who have been in emergency shelter hotels for more than a month. At this point, the city has opened 126 emergency shelters, but officials say that resources are stretched to the limit. The Commissioner for Immigrant Affairs said this morning that at least 60,000 asylum seekers have arrived in town over the past year. That number expected to rise with the end of Title 42 tonight. Reporting from City Hall, Gabi Acevedo, News 4, New York.
Gabi, thank you for breaking that down. And right now, people are gathering outside of City Hall for the latest rally involving the subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely. The City Council's Black, Latino, and Asian Caucus is holding it, while Black Lives Matter New York will rally in front of the Manhattan DA's office. Now, it comes one day after Mayor Eric Adams pledged changes with how the city interacts with people battling mental illness. Protesters have been calling for charges in the case. Sources close to the investigation say that the case could be presented to a grand jury as early as today. Yesterday, Mayor Adams addressed Neely's death on that F train at the Broadway Lafayette station last week. He says it never should have happened. Investigators say 24-year-old Marine veteran Daniel Penny put Neely in a chokehold, which the medical examiner ruled killed him. Witnesses say Neely was harassing and threatening passengers. Penny was questioned but not charged, leading to protests. Mayor Adams was asked again this morning about the case and if the chokehold was appropriate.
The DA will make the determination on how to handle this case, and I respect that. I respect DA Bragg's his job and what he has to do.
Now, the mayor says next week he's bringing in 5 organizations that are contracted for homeless services for a summit. It'll be to develop an action plan to get those in crisis the help they need. And things are back on track for the LIRR after a derailment this morning. Luckily, no one was hurt. It involved a non-passenger train around 2:40 this morning near Long Island City. Here's what it looked like when Chopper 4 was over the scene this morning. Now, the cause is still under investigation. All impacted service is now back on time. And on Long Island, dozens of private wells will be tested for contaminants in the drinking water. The Suffolk County Health Department says it'll be testing wells in Mastic and Shirley. It comes after the chemicals PFOS and PFOA were found in groundwater above state standards at the airport and the nearby Mastic Fire Station. The chemicals are used in a number of products, including firefighting foam. The testing is being done at no cost to homeowners.
Time to take a check of the weather. A little bit hazy outside. That's from smoke coming from Canadian wildfires. We've got 74 already on the thermometer. Winds are calm. Dew point is at 38. Hour by hour, up we go to the low 80s, sliding down into the 70s, but keeping that warmth right through about 11 o'clock tonight. That's when we'll slip into the 60s. Overnight, comfortable with partly cloudy skies, and then to the mid and upper 80s we go tomorrow. Saturday, a cool down. You don't worry about this raindrop here. I think the chances are minimal, and most of that precipitation will be to the south. Sunday, we dry out and cool down. Looks like Mom's going to have a nice day at 72 degrees. Rain accumulation near nil. Maybe a tenth of an inch, but most likely even less than that. And as we head into Monday, our rain chances, I think, are slipping away. A sprinkle possible. Other than that, we're in fine shape. And the 10-day forecast stretches out mostly dry, with temperatures for the most part in the 70s and 80s, with one spot right here where we see 69 degrees during the midweek next week. All in all, we're in fine shape. The weekend looks good, and we feel July at our doorstep on Friday. Kay?
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Dave.